Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the I Am CDB project. I, of course, am your host, CDB. You are not, and this is just a miscellaneous update about a bunch of stuff, or at least a few items that are noteworthy. Of course, I'm coming to you from the car. I haven't had time to make a lot of videos lately, particularly the shaving variety. But first, the fasting update, because people are interested in the fasting. I did drop another couple of pounds this week, so I'm, getting back on target. Very happy about that. Feeling good and, getting back into decent form at least, which is good. And I'm just looking to merge over here, so I'm trying to pay attention to the rest. Anyhow, that's come along great. As I said before, I haven't had time to do shaving content, and I won't this weekend because I'm traveling again. It's my mother-in-law and father-in-law's 50th anniversary. And my brother-in-law had surgery, so we're traveling to visit, and I'm sure some of that will be nice, and I certainly hope my brother-in-law will be doing well, and we'll visit with all the family, and that'll be swell. The other thing that I wanted to mention, I have already forgotten. There was something else on my mind. There will be more shaving content though, so don't worry about that. An email I got last week, I believe, which I really appreciated. I just wanted to mention, I won't mention the individual's name, but a gentleman wrote me who's in the traditional shaving community. And generally speaking, in the traditional shaving community, people poo-poo cartridge razors. And so he's a head shaver, and he was trying to shave his head, and he was mangling his head from the double-edge razor, old-fashioned type razor. And I've said all along, use what works. You do you, and let everybody else do them, and don't worry about the group think where people just subscribe to a particular point of view, and that's all there is. Try things and see what works for you, and then go down that path. And if you like it, go with it. You can use traditional techniques with non-traditional gear and still get a great shave, as I do all the time on my head, for example. Cart razors work phenomenal for my head, and I use them on my head most of the time, 90% of the time. And they work easily. They tend to go a little better over bumps and imperfections. That's why I use it, and it just works. I can't get nearly as close with double-edged razors on the same level of effort. That's just all there is to it. So if you enjoy a cart razor on the dome, use a cart razor. If you enjoy a cart razor on the face, use a cart razor. It is entirely up to you. It's whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat. Go for it. That's my advice. And to the gentleman who wrote, basically he said, all the people always poo-pooed it, and you're one of the ones I found that said, hey, go for it, and I went for it, and I get a much better shave with my Mach 3. And I'm like, sir, good on you. Use that Mach 3 if it does the best job for you, and don't worry about what anybody else has to say about it, period. End of story on that. Thanks for the email. I get a lot of email during the week. I don't always mention every single one, but I do appreciate them, and I try to respond as soon as I can. That brings me to another topic, which is Facebook Messenger and so forth. The only way that I communicate with folks who aren't friends of mine, that is to say people I know, I've met, or have some relationship with, is through email. I've talked on the phone with a few people as well, but primarily it is email. And my email is cdb@imcdb.com. Very easy, cdb@imcdb.com. And you can reach me there. Email me. I'll try to answer your questions as best I can. Sometimes it takes me a couple of days. Every now and then I may miss one. I certainly try not to. Sometimes they go to spam and what have you, and I don't know they're there and things like that. But generally speaking, I try to answer those, and that is my means of communication with folks I don't know or don't know personally. I try to limit Facebook Messenger to people that I know, family members, friends, and people that I've established some sort of relationship with. And I don't mean that to be offensive to anybody I've known on Facebook and don't correspond with. It's just what tends to happen on Facebook is you'll add people to friends who you've met in certain hobbies, and then you post something on your wall which is intended for friends or family or, you know, things like that, and they'll come along and say something inappropriate because they don't know how to behave. And I'm here to tell you, sometimes people in the traditional shaving community and other hobbyist communities just simply do not know how to behave. They don't. They create a ruckus. They cannot distinguish the difference between a forum, whereas there's debate and sometimes off-color humor, and they can't seem to distinguish between that sort of thing and a personal wall where people communicate with friends and family. So I use Facebook primarily to communicate with people I know, friends I've met and established some relationship with. And so that's why if you message me and it goes to my other folder, I never look at it. I don't intend to look at it. I don't mean any offense. Email me. Email me. If you don't know me personally, or if we don't have some sort of ongoing, you know, sort of relationship, meaning, you know, friendly relationship or what have you. And I don't mean anything by that. I just simply cannot keep up with 5, 6, 7 methods of communication. You know, I have a job and I have a life outside of these little videos that I do, obviously. And I cannot keep up. And number two, people just don't know how to behave, and then you expose your friends and your family to these morons who don't know how to behave, who haven't had home training, who, it's one thing to make a joke, you know, we get that, but these people will come in and just blow up your personal wall. And I was like, hey, you know, that's not really a personal wall type of communication, and they just don't understand the difference. And I try to remain cognizant of that when somebody posts something on their personal wall, that their friends and family are going to see that. And so you really have to gauge the type of relationship that you have with someone and then decide what you're going to post there. I try not to insult people other than Tom Brim, my friend, because we have that relationship where we sort of insult each other. That's just part of our thing. But anyway, I try to remain respectful on people's walls, knowing that their friends and family will see it. But other folks do not extend those courtesies. This is why a couple of years ago I stopped adding hobbyists, and lack of a better term, let's call them shave geeks. And that's not meant to be offensive, because I'm a shave geek too. I stopped adding shave geeks as friends until at least I get to know them and establish some rapport or relationship with them, because people were just saying outlandish and stupid things, acting a doggone fool, and I just don't have time for it. I just don't have time for it. Sometimes I post, you know, thought-provoking stuff on my wall, but it's still posted with the intent on people can say their piece, but it needs to be, you know, to consider that it's on a wall, and you're not going to just, you know, post a bunch of obscenity or just something entirely off base and so forth. So that's the reason I don't accept. So if I haven't accepted your friend request, please don't take offense from it. It's not that I'm trying to avoid you. It is simply that I'm trying to limit that to friends, family, and people I know. I'm always willing to answer your questions if you just email me. And I'm sorry, I know some people before, particularly younger people, are like, I don't want to email. That's an outdated form of communication. Well, I'm sorry. That's what I offer. Really, over the years, I've made myself really accessible to people. I've tried to help people as much as I can in terms of answering their questions and doing the best I can in that regard. And so, you know, I'm making the best effort that I possibly can, but I just can't, you know, communicate over all forms of social media, and in particular Facebook, where like I said before, I have family and friends, and then you expose them to the sometimes folks that quite frankly don't have any home training. So anyway, that's my long way of saying, email me if you got the question, you want to talk, shoot the breeze, whatever the case may be. You can get me there. It'll be swell. And I'll try to answer you, of course, as best I can. Sorry for the light again. I'm sort of moving around town here, and I'm probably under a overpass or something at the moment. Anyway, I know I've rambled for about 10 minutes. I did not intend to. I just want to say thanks, as always, for watching. I do appreciate it, and I do try to respond to your emails. And one final thing, I don't look at the comments on YouTube because of the anonymity and the goofy things that people, it's just people troll, and I don't have time for that foolishness. So if you want something to get to me, once again, email me. Thanks, as always, for watching. Thanks for your emails. Thanks for everything. Till next time, I've been your host, CDB. You or not, God bless.